At Magnuson Park, old naval buildings sit beside soccer fields, wetlands, and Lake Washington. We're counting down 5 Seattle area neighborhood facts, from Seattle proper to its suburbs, that sound like they should not be true, but are. For this countdown, the weirdness is specific. Each place has one measurable detail that feels out of step with what you would expect from the map. Some are about transit, some are about restaurants, some are about housing, and one is about a residential pocket with a surprising military footprint. We'll start at number 5 and work toward the strangest Seattle area neighborhood fact of all. Number 5 is Dupont, down in Pierce County. Dupont is not just a tiny crossroads. It is a full city with a 2020 census population of 10,151, as summarized by Wikipedia. Google Places, June 2026, shows 18 dining places, and the area also has 13 parks. Yet Transitland, June 2026, identifies exactly one transit stop within a mile, with the nearest rail station 7.5 miles away. Zillow 2026 puts the typical home value at $561,061. The fact that a city with that many mapped daily life spots has such a thin transit footprint is why Dupont starts the countdown. Number 4 is Georgetown, in South Seattle, tucked between the rail main lines, the Duwamish River, and Interstate 5. This is where the numbers get almost cartoonish. Census ACS 2022 counts 1,317 residents in the tract, while OpenStreetMap shows 50 mapped food and drink venues. That works out to one venue for every 26 people. And Transitland also counts 51 bus stops. Georgetown has always had a distinctive industrial edge, but that venue-to-resident ratio makes it feel like the neighborhood is hosting far more activity than its resident count suggests. Number 3 is View Ridge, in North Seattle, around Northeast 65th Street, 40th and 45th Avenues Northeast, Sandpoint Way Northeast, and the Sandpoint Country Club area. On the surface, this reads as a calm residential neighborhood near parks, schools, and Lake Washington. Then, the naval landmark count shows up. OpenStreetMap June 2026 has 31 mapped naval landmarks in View Ridge, compared with 24 in Bremerton, the Navy's own shipyard city. The reason is Magnuson Park, where surviving Naval Air Station structures still anchor the landscape. That is the kind of fact that sounds like a map glitch until you stand there and see the history in the buildings. Number 2 is Yarrow Point, the small King County town on the east side, with a 2020 census population of 1,134, as summarized by Wikipedia. Here, the strange fact is not a trend line with dozens of sales behind it. The sample size is the story. Redfin, March 2026, shows an entire quarterly housing market made up of one house, a single $7,775,000 sale that took 209 days, with 3 active listings in town. Zillow 2026 reports a typical home value of $2,001,001, reflecting the way the upper end gets top-coded in these kinds of figures. For a whole town's market snapshot to hinge on one transaction is exactly the kind of real estate fact that feels like it should not count. And number 1 is Medina, on the East Side Peninsula in Lake Washington, across the water from Seattle and bordered by Clyde Hill and Hunts Point. This is the biggest inversion in the countdown, using Census ACS 2018 and 2022. The same census geography shows the population falling by 10.1%. Over that same 2018 to 2022 comparison, Zillow home values for the ZIP rose 70.3%, from $2.88 million to $4.91 million. Fewer residents, much higher home values, and the same geographic frame make the usual "more people means more pressure" explanation feel upside down. In a region where growth is usually the headline, Medina's fact lands at number 1 because it tells the opposite story with unusually sharp numbers. So the countdown runs: Dupont at number 5, Georgetown at number 4, View Ridge at number 3, Yarrow Point at number 2, and Medina at number 1. Each one has a fact that feels mismatched with the neighborhood's outward appearance. A city with barely any nearby transit access, a small resident count surrounded by food and drink activity, a residential area with more naval landmarks than a Navy shipyard city, a town market defined by one sale, and a lakeside city where the population fell while home values jumped. That is the Seattle area in miniature. Familiar places, very strange details. What did we miss? What neighborhood, street, park, venue, or local fact would you have put in your own top 5? If you enjoyed this kind of Seattle neighborhood deep dive, give the video a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Tell us what you would have ranked higher, and what Seattle area topic you want next. Parks, waterfront spots, transit surprises, food streets, or a single neighborhood breakdown. Every number in this video is sourced, and you'll find the links in the description.